Here for our live. We have the lovely Shailesh from New Wine Digital. So he and I actually met through social media and ended up connecting. So you can actually make new friends, real friends, and business connections through social media. I'm sure there are plenty of stories. But we've worked on a few projects together and hope to work on some projects together again soon. But Shailesh, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, and then we'll get into all things marketing.
Sure. Thank you, Bretta, for having me. I know it's an interesting story. I was actually browsing, reels on Friday night, like after dinner, and I saw your reel about marketing and tell me how dense I am. I was like, oh, wow, marketing people promoting marketing. I guess that's a thing, So I watched your videos and I reached out because I had a client that needed some social media help. But I run a digital marketing agency out of Salt Lake City, and we have most of our focus has been web design development and SEO and content marketing and some paid media, but we haven't really done social media marketing as much. So that's where we had an opportunity to work with you, Bretta, and your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a fun collaboration. So why don't you share from your perspective? What are some of the things that are happening in the marketing sphere right now that you've noticed?
Well, I mean, the big elephant in the room is always AI, right? But I think it's kind of people are kind of coming to the realization that it's more of a tool. Maybe I am, or I don't know, people in the industry. It's more of a tool than a substitute for actual marketing. So beyond that, what I'm seeing is people are just investing. I think they're investing more in different. They're being very targeted, is what I'm trying to say. Is instead of being generalist, they really are. There's a new group of people, I think, that have a better understanding of digital marketing, I think, in general. So they feel very specific, like they want to spend really deep in this kind of channel or this kind of channel, and they're very hesitant to go across the board. So that's what I'm seeing is people are like, okay, I only want to do email marketing, or I only want to do, PPC, or I only want to do this because they want to make sure that there's an ROI coming for it. So I'm noticing people are more savvy, at least the business owners I'm talking to. They're very savvy in what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. They're more versed, I think, in the metrics that lead to success. So they're monitoring it more. So yeah, so I would say that's the situation.
Yes. I mean, I think a lot of people are very interested in AI. And I just listened to a podcast. I don't know if you ever catch Neil Patel. He's really good. And he does some SEO. And he was talking about how, and I just went to a chamber event. And funny enough, they were talking about AI. It was for the labor department. They were just talking about the economy and like how AI was such a part of it, but nobody is yet seeing the productivity numbers in AI that maybe we will later. Like you said, it's a tool that you can use,
Yeah.
and perhaps it shaves off some time, but it's not necessarily we're seeing these leaps in either replacement or productivity.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I mean, I always try to go back to the timeline of the internet and accelerate it by a few years. But, maybe we did see, I was in college at the time, so I wasn't in the real world. I would think 1996 and 97, they were not seeing productivity improvements from the internet. But by 2001 and 2004, they certainly were. So maybe that's the situation here is, all this AI stuff is just taking some time. But I know I'm not getting clients saying, hey, did you do this? Or did AI do this? Or people saying, hey, I'm canceling my marketing with you guys because I found an AI tool to do it for me. I'm not hearing that either. So I guess maybe it's just time. Maybe it'll just be a few years before it kind of catches up. So I've heard that stat about the productivity.
Yeah. And we've shifted a little bit to and I haven't really talked to you a huge amount about this, but we're doing a lot more of the marketing systems and CRM to support what we're doing, and then doing some of those other services along with it. But pretty much now we require everyone to have some kind of CRM or marketing system And if they don't use ours, then they need to have something that is equivalent or a good system, because we just found over time that it doesn't, you can't track as much of the ROI. And then if you don't have these support things, then you can spend all the money you want on ads or different things that if you don't have the systems.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's kind of cool that you're doing that, because I talked to a business owner not too long ago, and he was really invested and he had a budget for PPC, and I asked him what kind of CRM he's going to use to follow up, or what's in place. He said, "Remind me again what CRM is." I thought, okay, this is not. I told him not to invest in Google Ads until he actually has something in place, because you're paying for these calls, man. I mean, it's not cheap either in his home services. I mean, you're paying big bucks. So if you don't have a follow-up mechanism or a funnel or something like that in the back end, start there, because
Exactly.
it's going to waste money.
Yep. And that's what we found over and over again. So we had a service-based business, and they were paying for those Google service ads, but had no follow-up system. And it's like, and they were getting leads from ads that we were doing, but then, he was like making a willy-nilly choice to like follow up or not follow up, and then saying it's not working. And it's like, no, how do you know?
How do you know, right? How do you know? And you're not even trying, I mean, just because you got a phone call, people, there's multiple steps to a purchase cycle, right? I mean, we all know that. I mean, sometimes it takes 7 or 8 touches before somebody's really ready to make that purchase. So everything has a cycle. So you have to understand your cycle. You have to understand that there's multiple touch points, multiple reminders. I was at a meeting yesterday, National Speakers Association meeting, and the guy that's speaking was saying that he is so tenacious about his follow-up that he says he doesn't ever give up. Like he said, there's this one contact he's been following up every quarter for 7 years.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, he's not going to give up on that prospect. I mean, so we'll see. Maybe it'll close.
It's it's a good lesson. And sometimes I would say I've even given up on the tenacity, where you're like, okay, I'm not going to fall. But really, until they tell you to jump in the lake, like if they're still receiving your messages, I mean, if they haven't blocked your phone number, then go right ahead.
Right. One thing, going back to AI, one thing that I have noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed it, is email is getting taken over by AI. And every morning when I check my email, I noticed between, like, I would say 6:30 a.m. and about 10 a.m., there's like a whole bunch of junk mail written by AI. Are you getting those? I mean, it's like, hey, question, following up, I liked your podcast. And then this one guy had a podcast review, but it was completely off. He had the title of my podcast, but he said, I liked your podcast for these reasons. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't speak about that. So I think there are AI tools out there that are going and writing email and putting you in some kind of a follow-up. I'm seeing a big increase in that. So
interesting. Well, I'm going to have to pay attention, because I was just commenting that I do get all of these emails that some of them are very like personal, like you said, like somebody, but I haven't really looked at them closer. So I'm going to have to look. Here's one. Are you frustrated with your mobile rate? And you get so many of different junk mail. So I'm going to pay attention more, because I just thought it was people, I don't know, taking, but probably AI is writing.
I think there's also people, like I get a lot these days saying, hey, I went through your LinkedIn, you mentioned this, would you be interested in this? You know what I mean? So obviously I would like to think that that person is not going through my LinkedIn and finding a post that I wrote maybe 3 weeks ago and making, you know what I mean? I mean, it just doesn't seem human. I'm sorry to say that. I mean,
for sure.
am I that interesting? I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, so how are you using AI in your business?
We're using it mostly for ideation and productivity purposes. So a lot of our writers use it to find ideas, do research. But our rule is you write it. It's you do it for, so you don't spend hours and hours digging up stuff and things like that. You use AI to do all the research for you, and we have queries we teach them on some the prompts, how to be specific, how to use it, maybe even build like a custom GPT if you need to as a writer, so that your process is accelerated and you're able to write better quality content in a shorter period of time, right? That's the whole use. And then the other ideas, and then also on the creative side, some of our creative team members will use it to help them with their work and things like that. For me, I use it a lot for research. If I'm talking to a prospect, I want to learn about them, I go on AI, I try to just build an idea of who they are, their background, their business. So it's not hours and hours, but just 20 minutes of work, so that you have that really productive conversation up front. So that's how I'm using it right now. It's not any kind of, I don't write emails using AI. I don't do any of that stuff, but maybe I should be. I know people are using it for LinkedIn. I got approached by a company that wanted me to sign up for a program that you could build these LinkedIn campaigns on with AI. I was approached by a company to do email outreaches using AI. I'll be honest, I did try that for 3 months, but didn't get anything. So I'm experimenting, you know what I mean? Just to kind of figure out, how do I use this for better productivity, free some time in my day and things like that. I know people are using it to respond to customer emails, and I thought, I don't know if I'd ever get to that point, but maybe I will.
Interesting. So I have one of my favorite books, communication style, is a book called Never Split the Difference. He was an FBI
Okay. I've heard of that book.
negotiator.
Yeah.
So that is in one of my frequent prompts. Like, I'll write things and then I'll plug it into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you incorporate elements of Never Split the Difference into this language? And
Okay.
then have it spit it back out, and then I'll tweak it or say, oh yeah, I like this part. And that seems to work pretty well. And we do use it for some of our content where either we'll write it, or we'll have it write it and then we'll fix it. So it depends on what we're doing. So never usually raw.
Here's one question I'd like to ask you. There's one way I'm using it that's, I don't know if I'm cheating, so correct me if I'm cheating. But what I've been doing is I've just been speaking, like if I have a thought, like maybe a blog post idea or something that I want to talk about, and I'm driving, I'll just record it on my phone, and then I'll put it into Otter to transcribe it, and then it also rewrites it for you, and then it cleans it up and puts it into a blog post. That's still my content, right?
Yeah, I like it. That's a good idea. So that's a juicy tidbit for people.
Yeah, that's a good one, because like this LinkedIn article that I just posted this morning, that's how I did it. Is I just thought of 6 digital marketing myths, and I actually transcribed my podcast that I did. I transcribed it, and then I had AI write it into a blog format. I had it then write it as a thought leader, and then I had it write it in different ways, cleaned it up, but it's still my content, right? I mean, I created it.
I think that's a great cheat. Now I'm going to do that because I know I pay for ChatGPT, and I know they have you can turn it on and do a recording.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm stealing that idea.
You can have it, no problem. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows, like I actually just recorded it as an audio file, and then
and then
upload it. Sometimes what I've also done is sometimes, I get tired of typing. I'm just in front of the computer, like I'm sure a lot of people are, but I get, I need some energy. So I stand up and I just start speaking. I turn on the mic on the Microsoft Word document. There's a transcribe button, and then I just turn on the microphone and I just talk, and I just let AI clean it up, take out the ums, uhs, create it into proper sentences, But then I was thinking, are they introducing AI language in there, or is it just anyway? So that's kind of how I'm trying to be more productive.
Yes. Well, I was going to tell you, and it's probably better now with AI, but right in the beginning, when you would have it write an email, it always started with, I hope this email finds you well. And so that's a dead giveaway that AI wrote it. That drove me nuts because my personality is like to get to the point, and then I'll do like some of the niceties later in the
Oh, okay.
um, in the text. So anyway,
I'm,
fascinating. Well,
I'm
so one
similar,
thing,
Bretta. Go ahead. Go ahead.
get
Finish your
get to
thought.
the point. Yeah. Oh no, how we're using the AI. One of the things in our CRM, and we just set this up yesterday for one of our clients, is they have an AI voice feature. So when you call inbound, if you don't answer, you can talk to an AI voice agent, and that seems to work pretty well for us. I mean, we have it set to where I think it'll ring 4 or 5 times, so we have an opportunity to answer it. But a lot of times you can tell it's going to be a spam call, and then it
Okay.
goes to the AI voice. But then some other people use it.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I think there's going to be so many use cases and applications. So yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of curious to see how it develops. But I'm also a very direct to your point kind of person. But what I do is when I respond to an email, I'll just get to my thought right away, blah 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 blah, and then I go back and add the niceties at the top and the bottom and the middle and things like that, and I send it. You know what I mean? So that it doesn't come
Yeah.
across as curt. So, but I do like to get all my points out right away. You know, so
Mm-hmm. Since we're all busy people.
I know.
Well, I'll have you wrap up our conversation with if there's anything else that you would like people to know about business owners for things, maybe a really good juicy tidbit or things that you're seeing in marketing. Like you said, people are getting focused. One other little juicy nugget people could take away.
Well, I mean, one thing is just be yourself, be authentic. I think a lot of times when strategies hasn't worked, it's because we try to copy something somebody else did, you know. And I talk to business owners, and sometimes when the conversation goes and says, well, the competitor down the street is doing this, or you know what I mean, or how come I'm not doing, how come, I want to do what this guy's doing. It's like, well, I mean, first of all, we don't know if it's working, right? I mean, he could be wasting money doing that because he doesn't share his ROI with us, right? So we don't know it's working. And second of all, we got to be authentic. We have to do it the way you do it. And so my first question a lot of times is, how are you getting business right now? Let's start there. So how are you getting business right now? I mean, let's talk through that process and then see where we need to change, where we need to put marketing dollars, where we need to change strategies, and let's arrive at a place where it's authentically you. It works for any kind of technology. It works for whether it's AI or social media or whatever it is, it'll work because you're being you. And last night, this guy made this big point and said, try to be the category of one, right? You are unique enough that people want to work with you. So you have to spend time developing that. So don't copy anybody.
Yep, I think that's great advice. Every business is unique, each story, the things that they're trying to come across. And even if you're using AI for tools, like just try to continue to be yourself and
Yeah,
stay aligned
absolutely.
with your business goals, the voice, everything that you're doing. So great tidbit, Shailesh. It's always great to chat with you, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to let us in on all of the wonderful secrets that you have with marketing, and hopefully look forward to working with you again very soon.
Thank you, Bretta. It's always a pleasure. Really appreciate it. And next time you're in Salt Lake City, I'll give me a few months head start so that I can just kind of plan that week and be here. Because the last 2 times I've been out of town.
I know it's always in the summer. So, well, thank you so much, Shailesh.
Thank you, Bretta. Have a good day.